Hello and welcome to another episode of the Best You interview series. It's Gary here again, and thank you, as always, for taking the time to tune in today. And today I'm delighted to be joined by best-selling author, personal branding, leadership, and business development expert M Curtis McCoy, who is here to discuss his journey, his support systems that enable people to gain more reach in their business and their lives, and basically anything else that we get to talking about today. Curtis, he's given me the opportunity to call him Curtis through this, is the president of Newswire magazine, which is an outlet that helps his clients gain exposure to massive audiences. He emphasizes authenticity, consistency, and strategic visibility, and provides valuable insights into building a powerful personal brand and gaining more exposure in their chosen marketplace. With a background in business development, Curtis has launched and scaled multiple ventures, demonstrating a keen understanding of market dynamics and strategic planning. Curtis also hosts a show on Amazon Fire TV called Success, Motivation, and Inspiration, providing a platform for thought leaders to discuss personal branding, business strategies, and leadership. I can do with your help on every single one of those things. Curtis, thank you very, very much for coming on the show today.
Gary, man, I appreciate that introduction. You really did your research and made me sound like a rock star. Appreciate that.
Having had the pleasure of meeting you before we started recording, I can absolutely confirm that in your genre, in your area, you are very much a rock star. So to go back to the bio here for a quick second, it does emphasize authenticity and strategic visibility for personal branding and the importance of that. Can you start us off by sharing some fundamental steps for someone who's looking to build a strong and authentic personal brand?
So there's basically two different things as far as branding goes. There's earned media and there's paid media. I deal on the paid media side, but
Yeah.
I also speak at events all over the country on earned media.
Mhm.
And that's basically how I nurture people into when you've built your business large enough, got enough traffic, got enough income coming in,
Yeah.
where you can boost that business by doing paid media.
Yeah.
Helping people get to that point where they've got money to spend is how I actually end up having them spend money with me. But as far as earned media goes, that's anything where you can provide value for people over and over and over again and become known as the expert on that subject matter. So, for example, if with you for a coaching podcast, you're over and over again interviewing people that are providing value on how to live a better life, how to be a better person, how to be a better you.
Yeah.
And so now when they need to hire a coach, you're the expert that they look up to.
Yeah. Yeah. So in terms of that, then, is it for someone starting, to get to that spot where, they're not quite in the paid avenue just yet, but they're looking to get towards that so that the organizations with expertise such as yourselves can do the heavy lifting for them. What would you say you see as being the more successful patterns that people follow to get that consistency, to get that name out there, to get that recognition?
Just putting in the work. I get people asking all the time, or I also see social media creators talking about viral strategies, how to make your content go viral, or how to create good content that's going to take off and go viral.
Yeah.
I think it's a kind of a messed up way to do it, because if you're looking to if you're trying to create content, it gets extremely boring, extremely hard to keep coming up with ideas.
Yeah.
But if you instead just figure out how to solve a problem for somebody, doing that selflessly, saying, okay, whatever your business is, if you think of your absolute perfect target client, their age, their gender, their marital status, maybe their political party that they affiliate with.
Yeah. Everything
Everything about them, down to their income, down to maybe whether they've got a pet dog or a cat, or if they like fish.
Yeah.
That person exactly. This is my dream, ideal, perfect client. I would love to work for this person for free if I could. I mean, you're going to charge them. But when you start solving problems for that person on a daily basis, whether that is blogging, maybe you're getting on doing Instagram reels, or you're getting on doing lives on LinkedIn, or Facebook videos, the Facebook reels, YouTube videos, whatever it is. If you can start solving a problem for your absolute perfect client over and over and over again, like I do at these events. I just spoke at an event here a couple of weeks ago. Got another one I'm flying out to speak at in Texas on personal branding. helping people that are just getting started building their brand. So I'll do an entire course, entire keynote on personal branding, how to build your brand. And then at the end of that, if some of those people actually follow the advice, they start making good money doing it, then that's when they can hire me later. So just solving problems for people without expecting anything in return. Same thing, for example, with podcasts. I'm a guest on as many as 6 podcasts daily, 5 days a week.
Yeah.
That's what I do over and over and over again. I'll be a guest on shows that are, some of them have got 50,000 plus monthly listeners.
Yeah.
Other ones, I was on a show right before yours today. It was the kid's 7th episode that he recorded.
Yeah.
And he was trying to decide whether to keep going or not. 7 episodes in, trying to decide whether he should keep doing his podcast. So probably, I don't know if he will ever edit that episode or not, or get it published. But I'm guessing there's probably not a whole lot of people that's going to, listen to that episode, even if they do find it.
Yeah.
But just providing value. I didn't, when the kid said it was his 7th episode and he's trying to decide whether to keep going, if I stepped out and said, "Oh, listen, I only deal with big podcasts like the Best You," then that's automatically cutting my opportunity. Where maybe the kid, I gave him all kinds of tips and stuff. We spent about 20 minutes afterwards going through on how to start monetizing that podcast, how to build the brand, how to start generating search traffic for it.
Yeah.
And if he blows up, cool, he's a client. And if not, hopefully it helped him a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like that. And it's, the ideal client, going back to that part, it's something that I've personally, wrestled with. I don't know that it's been so much of a struggle, but it's certainly been a wrestling match where I genuinely believe to my core, I can coach anyone about any topic, anywhere in the world, regardless of who they are, genre, background, affluence or not. And I know practically in my head that I can't help everyone, so the niching down or getting a bit more targeted in terms of the ideal client of at least where I would like to start, where I could have the most impact and the most ability to add value to people, has been something that I've been kind of thinking, oh, am I leaving too much on the table by ignoring other people? But I believe that opportunity might come at a later point when, you get to a point where you have a reputation, where you are doing what you're doing for your ideal client, and in terms of, the coaching, the offerings, the success, the results that you're hoping to get. So I say that out loud here, just in terms of, if you haven't already thought about a niche, if you're thinking about coaching in some way, shape, or form, you haven't got a niche, get one as quickly as you can. Pick it, stick with it, test it out, try it, get some results from there. It doesn't have to be cast in stone forever and ever, but you need some sort of focus. And I struggled with that certainly in the earlier days too. So that's sage advice.
Can I give you a quick tip on that?
Definitely.
AI has made so much stuff just extremely easier, where we can get rid of a lot of the menial tasks that we don't want to do. But if you're listening to this right now and you don't know specifically your niche, who your the perfect client is, maybe you're trying to figure out, how do I start making money? Yes, I want to be the best me, but also, how do I start making money with this?
Yeah.
If you figure out what you're interested in, go to ChatGPT, even the free or any of the AI software, even their free version. Get on and say, these are the things that I'm interested in. This is my name. This is what I'm interested in. This is my background. This is my experience. Give it as much information as possible. I think you and I may have talked about this on a previous call here.
Yeah.
But AI does not exist. At this point, AI is not a real thing. It is simply the combination. It's basically summarizing all publicly available human knowledge that's available right now on the internet. And so it's taking everybody's best advice and trying to put that together, basically get a consensus on whatever your question is.
Yeah.
So if you ask a question and say, "Hey, my name is Gary Gillian. This is my podcast name. This is my experience. This is my background. This is my, educational background. This is how much money I'm making. This is where I live. And then these are the things that I'm interested in. These are the problems that I've solved in my own life." Write up every possible detail that you can and say, "Ask me more questions to get to know me better." It'll go through, start asking you questions. Then you feed that in, answer every question as detailed as you can, because you're only getting the sum of whatever you ask. So ask better questions, get better results. So now you feed it in everything about you. Any experience. Now, so okay, give me a list of 30 different types of clients that I could potentially serve. What type of business, what type of problem I could solve for 30 different types of clients.
Yeah.
So it'll list out authors, entrepreneurs, motivational speakers, whatever your list of them is. Now, you could ask it, okay, rank these in order of, give me two lists. First, rank these 30 in the by who is most willing and most likely to be searching for a solution to the problem that I'm solving.
Yeah.
And then also rank these by the profitability, potential profit. So, if you got somebody that's making a whole lot more money, there's a whole lot better chance that they're going to be able to pay you for the service.
Yeah.
And then go through, and if you're like, hey, this is perfect client, they got a lot of money, but they've got zero interest. Mm-hmm. This is somebody, you can kind of figure out your top couple of people there.
Yeah. Then
build your service around, okay, this is what I love to do. This is what I'm good at. And hey, it's also going to make money.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
So on the other side of that, I've been working with a lady that she just got a great heart. She absolutely loves people. She loves healing the, people that are hurt and people that have gone through sexual abuse, physical abuse, drug addictions, alcohol addictions. And for a couple of years, she was paying all these different coaches and consultants and stuff, just milking her dry on how to make more money, doing courses, writing books, whatever, on people that are trying to get out of abusive relationships, that are trying to get over drug and alcohol addiction, that are trying to figure out how to heal from the abuse and neglect that they had as a child.
Yeah.
Most of these clients, when we started breaking it down, I was talking to her, I'm going, this is a great message. I love your intention behind this. These are people that need to be helped. But also, when we broke it down and found her exact target client, it was a woman who's in an abusive relationship. The husband is just overbearing, controls everything, controls the finances, controls everything about her life. Mm-hmm. And the woman is needing to get away from this abusive relationship. I said, okay, so what is your main offering at the time? Was a book that she was selling for $19.99 on Amazon. Now, the profit on that, I think she was making $3.06 per book sold.
Right.
So if she reached one client, had 100% conversion, she made $3.06.
Yeah.
Now, that's not counting paying taxes and all the other junk that you got to pay for to run a business. So I'm going, okay, if you could serve, if you had 1 million people find you and 1,000 people a month go, you know what, I want to buy this book. How many of those women, she would make $3,006 on that, if she sold that to every client that was interested.
Yeah.
But now how many of those women have the ability to buy that book? They've got an extra $20 laying around, and the abusive spouse is not going to find out about it. They've got some kind of a secret, extra debit card or whatever. These coaches and consultants that have been helping her, well, bleeding her dry, but coaching her on how to get more clients. Never asked her, hey, who's your target client? Is this something you can actually make money on? So she had spent an insane amount of money marketing something that was really a good product, good service, a good mission, a good thing for the world. But there's no way that she was ever going to be able to make money off of that. Yeah. So we built her, just figuring out what else does she like to do? What's her strengths and her background and stuff. And she's on track to make over $100,000 this year with this new business that she's launched, actually solving a problem for people that can afford to pay her for it. And then the other thing you can do as sure it differs in different countries, but this other thing that she's doing, trying to help these abused and battered women, people with the addictions and stuff, she can do that as a really great, almost like a mission, where she's just helping people and, maybe run that as a 501c3 in the future, or say, okay, this is the cost of these books, ship these out all over the country. Her cost on a book, on a $19.99 book, is a whole lot less. So she could buy those and then ship those out and take the tax deduction on the $19.99 when she's making $100,000 on her other business.
Yeah.
And still be helping people. But the more money she makes in the actual business side, the more people she can help on the other side.
Yeah. The opportunity to still stay true to your mission, as you say, but approaching it from a different angle and maybe something not so much unconventional per se, but just a different way to look at how the market operates and how you need to be able to generate before you can accumulate, before you can then give away or support in another way. Oh, that's great. I'm glad that she finally found you then, as opposed to going and going in a different direction. And I mean, that would be a horrific situation or circumstance for me if I went and spent a lot of time with a client who was desperately trying to get to a specific place. We never got to that place, and then afterwards they thought, felt, or believed that they did not get value for money, that there was an element of me just kind of, bleeding it dry. That honestly, that would crush me. That's just not what I'm into. So, and I would like to hope that that's not what these coaches were doing. It was just, that there was just some sort of communication barrier going on there, that she couldn't articulate it. They couldn't really draw from her exactly what it is she was trying to do. They didn't have the expertise or experience to be able to do that. And then all of a sudden, money is flying out the door,
Yeah.
time is passing, and none of it is being used for any genuine good or progress.
But also you as a coach that understands business. I mean, I'm sure you would not be just letting somebody continue to pour money into advertising and marketing and
Yeah,
on something that is not ever going to generate a profit. So
yeah,
that's partly when you're finding a coach like Gary, when you're looking out, if you're trying to hire a coach, a consultant, a personal branding expert,
mhm,
look at their track record. If like Gary, if the guy's built a successful business, he's doing good things. You can see he's out on the internet putting out his podcast. He's connecting with good people. That's the guy you want to work with. If it's somebody that has no fruit on the tree, but they're just a really good salesman, you need to look at, okay, what business have they built? What have they done in their own life to show the results that I understand that they can actually teach me to do what they've done.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And trying to find those leaders in the industries that you're working in, is obviously what we would all hope that people would be doing, and certainly who I would look to be consulting and learning from. So speaking about leadership, given your extensive experience in leadership and business development, what would you say are some key qualities that would distinguish highly effective leaders from not so effective leaders in today's lightning speed business environment?
So I'll tell you where I messed up as a leader. You probably know I owned a cosmetic medical laser clinic, a pharmaceutical company, built a telecommunications company with over 250,000 customers a month hitting the website. So I've built some successful business. Consulted with the United States Federal Trade Commission on the Sprint T-Mobile merger. Spoke at Caesar's Palace. Quite a few cool things like that.
Yeah.
But people typically don't promote where all the places I've screwed up. And one of the big ones was when I was starting retail locations, when I started my first, second, third cell phone store. As a I almost I grew up in a rough household and stuff, and I tried to run my businesses as I pictured a dad should teach their kid, where do
Right.
this. I told you to get this done now. That should have been done already.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Why are you screwed up? I'm trying to force somebody to do the work that I would have done myself,
Yeah.
not realizing that these employees they're working for me most of the time because they want to be an employee. They want to have a good job that they don't hate enough that they're going to leave. Something that pays the bills,
Yeah.
but also allows them to have the free time. They're not going home when they get off work and thinking about this at 2:00 in the morning, writing notes on how to solve some kind of problem, because it's not their issue.
Yeah.
And so I would say, if you're running a business right now, find employees that are really good at what they do, that really love to do it, and let them run with it. If there's something, for example, as we moved on and over 10 years of building the telecom company, I started hiring employees based on personality and just their heart instead of the actual skill sets.
Yeah.
So I hired a guy one day, young kid that was real driven, real motivated, super smart, sharper than me for sure. He's running a company right now, manufacturing some kind of tech, super smart dude.
Yeah.
Another young guy that is now an engineer for the United States Navy, doing nuclear submarine engineering, some kind of a, again, real sharp guy.
Yeah.
But when I started hiring them based off of their heart and their personal drive and stuff,
Yeah.
the one guy I hired as a sales guy, and when we went on, I said, "Hey, what's your?" He started asking questions about what he was interested in, what he was loved, what do you do if it, if money was not an issue.
Yeah.
So he started talking about all the tech stuff, search engine optimization. He loved writing. He loved content creation. As far, he didn't ever want to be on camera, but as far as writing articles.
Yeah.
So we put him through all kinds of training to become a search engine optimization writer. And so 5 days a week ended up being him, and he trained another guy to create SEO content, hundreds and hundreds of articles
Yeah.
that took bestseller to 250,000 customers a month, because we let him really be an expert in what he was, train him to be an expert in what he already loved.
Yeah.
So I'd say quit trying to force people into, trying to force square pegs into round holes.
Yeah, that's brilliant, because I over my career, certainly when I was in the corporate landscape, there was I was always of an opinion, without being flippant or certainly not being naive, that you can almost, I mean, there are certain very niche jobs, but you can almost teach a competent person to do pretty much anything. If you give them an opportunity and you give them the circumstances and the tools and the support to be able to be their best self and grow into and obviously learn the job. In many, not all, but in many organizations I was in, they were very, there was a lot of rigidity to, they must have that bachelor's degree, they must have the 5 years experience, they must have a demonstrable track record and stuff. And it was never really about their potential. It was all about, you need to prove that you have a seat at the table for right now, and we will accept no less than this. And I often found myself lamenting about, what did we miss out on? And not to live a life
Yeah.
of regret, especially when you don't truly know what the regret is, because it's just more of a hypothesis at that particular time. But, I just felt that we were leaving a lot of potential, genuine, literal potential on the table. But it wasn't bad behavior or even bad practice by the employers or the hiring managers themselves. What it was, Curtis, was really, it was them saying, that's kind of nice. I need to do the job right now. There
Yeah.
wasn't a lot of genuine forward thinking all the time. It was more, I need to satisfy a need, I need to plug a hole, I need to fill a gap right now. And I don't want, I can't afford to be measured on something that's going to work out over a 3 to 5 year period. It has to work out fairly immediately. So while I understood it, I was always just a tad, an itch that wasn't scratched, or a tad, mildly
Yeah.
frustrated by that, which was too bad.
Well, and that happens a lot with new businesses where it's a single owner that's got 1, 2, 3 locations, maybe max. I mean,
Yeah.
you'll run yourself to death if you have more than 3 retail stores that you're trying to manage by yourself.
Yeah.
But you see that a lot with new guys that are just getting started, that are kind of ego. I was absolutely egomaniac, like, just going, I know how this is supposed to work. I can see my 10-year vision. I know every step of everything that I should be doing here. Now you need to do this exactly along with my vision.
Yeah.
Now, so you get that, or you also get to where companies got past the entry level. They've grown enough to where they've got SOPs, standard operating position
Yeah.
procedures. They've got their everything laid out, and they've had enough failure with hiring poor quality employees,
Yeah.
people who should not be an employee anywhere. I mean, not because
Yeah.
of lack of skill, but just because of lack of actually doing anything.
Yeah.
And they've hired people, mistaken in the hiring process, or not firing quick enough
Yeah.
to where
Yes.
they're keeping employees that are worthless, and trying to remedy, instead of just getting rid of them and hiring somebody else that's going to do a better job.
Yeah.
They're trying to do this with SOPs and saying, okay, this is exactly, you need to clock in at 8 a.m. You need to, this is exactly, you're to the minute. Here's a schedule. Here's everything that has to be done on a certain day. And then you end up with employees that just do the bare minimum to keep their job
Yeah.
and could care less about ever growing the company.
Yeah. 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 It becomes an ownership, ownership of their behavior, ownership of their effort and endeavor, and ownership about the ultimate ongoing success and goals as well. So, you have launched and scaled multiple organizations as you chatted about there. What strategies do you find most effective or maybe important, depending on the best way to answer it, in identifying and capitalizing on market opportunities at a given point in time?
So this is the same thing with personal branding. I relate everything back to personal branding now because that's what I do.
Mhm.
But owning all these different companies, from pharmaceutical to Christian clothing company to all these businesses, anytime you can figure out how to solve a problem for somebody rather than trying to create customers for some random widget you just created,
Yeah.
it's a whole lot easier to solve a problem for somebody that needs a solution and then charge, even if you're not the cheapest solution. If you're the top rated, the one that gets the most traffic, you can be double or triple the price of the next guy below you,
Mhm.
as long as you're the one that owns the market as far as traffic goes.
Yeah.
So, for example, if say you're a local electrician and you go out, I'm doing a little bit of coaching with a guy right now that is getting his electrical business started,
Mhm.
and he's working at another electric company. But what I'm talking to him about is get out every single day, get on social media, start posting your stuff, writing blog posts. He's got his website set up. So if every day he'll spend a few minutes and solve a problem for a potential customer.
Yeah.
So we went through everything with, he doesn't want to be installing ceiling fans because it's hot and there's spiders and you're crawling through installation and the profit's not real great.
Yeah.
But we got this whole list of stuff. So I'm saying, okay, so maybe don't give people tips on how to size, buy the right ceiling, or what's it called? Attic fan.
Right.
To go above their house.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be known as the expert on attic fan installation.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the jobs that are profitable, that are also somebody that's not common knowledge, if
Yes.
he'll start putting out content every single day, solving the problem for his perfect client who's going to pay him well, who's going to be easy to work with, start solving that problem over and over and over again, then those clients start coming to you automatically. And same thing, he's the guy that just wired up our studio here, this second new studio.
Yeah.
But it was because of he got recommended because of the social media stuff that he's already doing.
Yes.
And I didn't end up hiring the company that has got a great track record. The company he's been with has been in business since way before I was born.
Yeah.
But I hired him instead because he's the one that was building that brand and solving problems for people.
Yeah, it's so important. And I'm glad you went back to emphasize that, because I think that's genuinely a key theme. If you are in some way stuck, or you've hit a plateau or a ceiling or something, that's holding you back in some way, that the opportunity to go back to basics and say, why did I start? What was my journey? Where am I at right now? Where do I want to be? What is the gap? What's preventing me from getting there? The going back to basics. I've done this a number of times in my own life and career. The opportunity to go backwards and say, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? And the problem solving is such a great foundational question to ask yourself. Am I still solving the problems I thought I would be solving with, the evolution of yourself and your business and whatever growth, has influenced or injected into your life? Am I still solving a problem, or am I just talking about solving problems, or am I just in some way pontificating or not adding the same value? So that thirst and that regular going back to the problem solving, that's absolutely brilliant, Curtis. Just in terms of food for thought for anyone who might be stuck out there. Is it a problem worth solving? Is there enough people out there with that problem? Can you help them solve it like someone else can't? Why would they come to you, and give them that experience and that opportunity to do that? So that's excellent. So in terms of, oh, sorry, go.
And not to cut you off there, but even more important than solving the problem is people cannot do business with you if they cannot find you. So
Yes.
if for example, you build the coolest shopping mall in history. I mean, the place is absolutely massive. There's every possible fast food, every gourmet restaurant. You got amusement park, car dealerships, everything you'd imagine. The coolest, biggest shopping mall in the world. You just built this thing in the middle of the desert with no roads going into it, no signs, no landing street, no runway for planes. People cannot do business with you, even
Yeah.
if you're the best possible solution. They can't do business with you if they can't find you. So that's where the personal branding comes in.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. I actually just took a note there in terms of just it's so interconnected. You know, as you say, you could have the best brand. That's such a great analogy as well, you know, because everyone's been to a mall. You do all that stuff and then you make it almost or virtually impossible to get there, then someone would be like, why did you hire her or him when you know that I do that? I didn't know you do that. You know, how would I know that? You know, I've been doing my thing, I've been doing this, I've been doing that. I didn't see you, not where I was, you know. So it's such a I mean, it sounds so basic, it really does, but it's probably easier said than done, which is why you need branding experts to be able to help you, you know, exacerbate where you are.
Well, and what you just mentioned there about somebody saying, "Why would you hire them when you knew I'd do this?" Uh, I had that happen when I bought the not the other place across town here. When I bought my house, I had we searched around. I was looking for a year and a half to find the perfect house that had the correct 16:9 resolution, gigantic wall in the back that
Yeah,
I could turn into a video studio.
yeah,
And we had worked with a really great realtor, but I had a guy send me a message saying, we've been following each other on Instagram. My dad, he was upset that I
yeah,
didn't hire him as a realtor. And he said, we've been, we like each other's posts. You've given me some tips. We've talked a lot. Why did you hire this other realtor, not me? And like, man, I had no clue that you were a realtor. I've seen your posts on all your social media junk, but never even knew you sold houses.
yeah,
And so now it looks like he took that as maybe not just me, but the kid is putting out, I mean, every week for the last couple of years, he's putting out content. When he's showing a house, when he just sold a house, he's got a picture with, as he's doing the walkthrough, he's doing the videos and stuff.
yeah,
But if he'd have been doing that before I bought my place, that's who I would have hired.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's so fascinating, and that's where you need to do your research to be able to say what problem am I trying to solve? And I genuinely believe I've done my research. I know and understand that this is a problem that people need help with, and they would be willing to pay for that help. Where does that particular type and style of person typically look? Is it social media? Are they looking at flyers that are put on their door? Are they interested in someone knocking on their door? Are they, where are they searching? When they go online, what is their activity? And I'm making an assumption here, but that's the type and style of help and support that you would be able to ask of new clients and support them through as they're getting into the more paid side of things. Would that be correct, Curtis?
So I don't do the earned media, and that's not just like the podcast here.
Yeah.
My entire goal is, if I can help people, if one of your viewers is watching this and they go, man, here's some stuff that I can implement today and start
Yes.
making money. Now in the future, so I don't work with people individually like that, unless it's somebody I'm doing other business with. Then
Yeah.
it's basically just an added free service.
Yeah.
But I had a lady, actually, it was yesterday or day before, got on a call, and we built her out a really successful plan, marketing package. It's like an advertising package that goes with her other service.
Yeah.
That she could do it online, but her goal, she really loves meeting people and connecting and just going out and shaking hands.
Yeah.
And she's one of those ladies that everybody that's ever met her loves her.
Yeah. Yeah.
But she is not a salesman whatsoever. She's has a real hard time asking for the sale. And we got out and she's talking about her average client. She puts $500 in her pocket after costs per new client.
Yeah.
Talking to these businesses. And we've built out this entire system where she can walk in, she tells them to pull up the website, she clicks the play button on her phone, and it starts reading out the benefits and stuff. So she says, hey, she'll do the thing. I'd like you to sponsor. Here's what we're looking for. And I'm trying not to kind of be general without sharing her specific story.
Of course.
But very easy. I mean, within 60 seconds, she can walk in and have a business put $500 in her account. Quick and easy.
Yeah.
she had sent a message saying she doesn't understand why she's having such a hard time with this. And also later that day, sent another message saying, hey, just put another $500 in the, just, landed another $500 client.
Yeah.
But she was saying that, I don't know why I'm having such a hard time. Why, feels like everybody's saying no. It's just, I'm, getting doors slammed in my face. And, I don't know why this is so difficult. Maybe, I don't know if God's got other plans for me or the whole thing.
Yeah.
So I looked at it and I said, well, how many messages, I see these payments are coming in. I know the system is actually working. Mm-hmm. I said, how many clients are you talking to every day? How many doors are you hitting? And she told me, well, on a good day, probably 5 to 7. So, okay, if the standard door-to-door closing ratio is 1 to 2%, mm-hmm. Depends on your industry. Yeah. If you are absolutely crushing it and hitting 20 to 30%, I mean, you're killing it. Maybe you're selling Girl Scout cookies door to door.
Yeah.
I bet 30% is a good closing rate there. Yeah. But on something that's putting $500 in your pocket, you'd be real lucky to hit 1% or 2%.
Yeah.
So how many doors do you have to hit? You're knocking 100 doors to get 1 to 2 clients.
Yes.
Now, if that's your case there, mm-hmm. If you're hitting 5 to 7 doors a day, say 100 divided by 20, I mean, divided by 5, you've got 20 days that it's going to take you to make one $500 sale.
Yeah.
You get out of business and go start a job. Or, like you said, let people know what you're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, if you could have a 5-minute conversation, drive into town, hit every possible business. I mean, if you're hitting 100 doors a day, that becomes a pretty profitable, $1,000 a day in your pocket is a pretty profitable solution there. But just let people know what you're doing. That's the biggest thing with people complaining about, well, I don't know why my business isn't making money. I don't know why I don't have enough clients.
Yeah.
Does everybody in your phone know exactly what you do and know that you would like their business or their referral?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, you literally already have a contacts list on your phone. If you have a social media presence, you have people there who in some way know you, know who you are, know what know a bit about you, and taking that next leap, that next step, that possibly uncomfortable action to saying, hey, listen, we've been doing this for a while. Would you be interested in hearing a little bit more about that? And then figuring it out. But even just putting those percentages in terms of conversion rate and such, do you find that when you're working with people, or maybe even you've experienced this yourself in your own growth, do you find that when people realize the type and style of conversion rate, the type and style of work that's actually involved in building and scaling a business, that people just go, oh, no, that's not for me. That's too difficult. I know this will work, but I have no smarts or interest in doing the legwork.
I don't know if anybody's that honest with themselves.
Right.
As far as saying I'm not smart enough or I'm not interested in doing the work. The majority of failed businesses, let me not to brag on how terrible it was getting everything started. But when we launched Best Cellular, I had been diagnosed with a malignant glioblastoma brain tumor. Oh. I was given less than 90 days to live. I was having 7 to 10 seizures a week, grand mal seizures. I mean, as far as we sponsored an event at the Denver Coliseum. I was the title sponsor, had Andy Hammond, IFBB pro bodybuilder. He passed away here a couple of years ago, but Andy come in, tore off his shirt that was, had my company logo on it, did the posing routine. We were sponsoring Dwayne Ludwig, fastest knockout in UFC history at the time. Right. Doing great there. And then I stepped off a stage, passed out, had a seizure, peed my pants.
Oh my God.
I'm the title sponsor. The announcer just said, go visit M Curtis McCoy's booth, this whole thing.
Yeah.
And then I step off, make an absolute fool of myself, banging my face on the concrete there. So I'm black eye, peed myself. And I had building these businesses and stuff. I lost everything, lost the ability to live alone. I went through, did alternative cancer treatment in Tijuana, Mexico, got back. And as I was recovering from brain cancer, my mom said, hey, you've always loved business. She was trying to figure out how to keep me from laying around feeling sorry for myself and dying like the doctor said I was going to.
Yeah.
But said, you've always loved tech. What about starting I had a weight loss clinic in Denver and some different stuff. What about starting a cell phone company or, a cell phone repair business? And so we started, I was printing up flyers. My mom's driving me around. I'm hanging flyers on the local grocery store bulletin boards and stuff.
Yeah.
As I was growing, that first store, we ended up selling service, doing computer repair, a bunch of stuff that started blowing up. We got to where we launched our own mobile virtual network operator. So we were actually the actual phone company now instead of selling somebody else's service.
Yeah.
And so then opened up a second store, then a third store. But I was living in the back of the first store when that happened. I was driving this $300 piece of junk truck. The drive shaft fell out one day driving down the highway. About killed it. Launched the next store. Lived in the back of my store in Grand Junction or over in Orchard Mesa. So this is not a retail, and this is not a residential area. I was living in the back of a little cell phone store in the break room. So we had a full futon couch that I jump up in the morning, go to the gym to shower. I had a coffee pot. There's no full size refrigerator, no way to cook. I'd get up in the morning, open a can of soup, put it in the coffee pot so it'd be heated up by lunch. Yeah. Then drive to the gym, shower in the morning, go back, put my suit on, real early, put my suit on, jump up and do a video. Hello, this is M Curtis McCoy. I'm like in my suit, hanging in front of a piece of black cloth, trying to look professional.
Yeah.
Holding a fake microphone that I'd got. I mean, not a fake, but it's just a mic that wasn't plugged in anything.
Yeah.
I think I'd picked it up at the thrift store for $5, but I'm trying to talk about success. Yeah. So this is M Curtis McCoy. Today we're going to talk about building a telecommunications company. We're going to talk about whatever it was.
Yeah.
But just kept doing that. Even though I look back at those videos, I look like an absolute idiot. You could tell I'm in a cheap, thrift store suit and the mic's not plugged in. We're doing a cell phone video.
Yeah.
But just having the will to I could have gone and got a normal job. I wasn't having all the seizures and stuff anymore. Yeah. But instead, living in the back of a cell phone store, my mom and stepdad lived in the back of my other store. Yeah. And lived a life that sucked for quite a while, trying to build up a company where it was where I could even make minimum wage. Mm-hmm. And we had a guy walk in one day who he was talking the previous month when he come in to pay his phone bill about how much he was spending on. He had financed these wheels, gigantic wheels on his car, like 22-inch, some kind of big wheels on a car that had crazy financing on it.
Yeah.
But he's talking about trying to make the minimum payments on these wheels on the car that he's maxed out on his credit cards. And he come in one day and he asked me for an $80,000 cash loan, not realizing that I was living in the back of the store, showering at the gym, trying to look like I wasn't homeless.
Yeah.
He came in and say he wanted an $80,000 cash loan. You see in our 3 retail stores and, big, gigantic sign on the highway and stuff. And I'm like, look, do you have a pro forma? Do you have do you have a P&L or a business plan? What's your business going to be? Well, I got a bunch of ideas. So, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And okay, can I see your business plan? What? I don't really have all that. And so, okay, put together a business plan. Let's figure out if there's a way. I didn't have 80 grand to loan him, but I figured, okay, I can probably help him come up with capital because I had other investors that would have helped.
Yeah.
But he's like, man, I'm good for it. Like, I know you're financing your wheels that you can't afford to make your minimum payment on.
Yeah.
So he gets upset and stuff, walked out, slammed the door. But on the way out, he goes, must be nice. Slammed the door behind him, thinking, I've been living in the back of this phone store for years here, trying to make ends meet, hoping that someday I'll have enough money to get my own apartment, let alone be driving a brand new vehicle that's, looking real nice like that one. So that's something too, realizing that if you're going to build something extremely successful, something that's got 250,000 customers a month hitting the website in the future here, you're going to have to make some serious sacrifices. And are you willing to lose that time with family, with friends, with quality of life? Life absolutely sucked for us for 10 years getting this company built. It's like, are you willing to trade 10 years of your good life when you're young and healthy and in good shape, hoping that the business works out? So in the future, you've got, the nicer lifestyle like we've got now.
Yeah. Yeah, and I imagine most people don't even know what that's like. Most people don't even know what that feels like. Most people wouldn't be prepared to give up their whatever it is in terms of abundance or convenience or comfort as they move forward as well. So yeah, it's not for everyone. I think is probably the clear and present message from there. So before I let you go, one last question I have for you, Curtis. In terms of, as someone who brings together business and personal endeavor, personal belief, and personal values, how do you see the role of someone's core personal values influencing their business decisions and ultimately their leadership style? How do you see that marrying together? Does that work well?
You mentioned earlier about it's easy to train pretty much anything you need to train. You can take a good person, take the right person, the right personality, and train that into them. Um, but that's something too. If you're looking to work, whether it's a branding expert, whether you're looking to work with a business coach, you have to work with somebody who is at heart a good person, somebody who's looking to that lines up with your values.
Yeah.
Maybe you're a dirtbag and you're looking to rip people off. You need to work with a dirtbag that's trying to rip people off so that you guys are working together and not
Yes.
conflicting. Don't
Yeah.
take that part as advice, but if you're a dirtbag, you probably just should not be in business.
You're probably not listening to this anyway if you're a dirtbag, you know?
um, but yeah, line up with somebody that's actually doing what they say they're going to do,
Yeah.
and somebody that's in a position that you want to be in.
Yeah.
If you look just like on your podcast, when you're inviting guys that are crushing it in life and business, you're connected with them, asking questions that, I mean, I know you're killing it too, but for a new guy trying to start a podcast, whatever, getting yourself surrounded by leaders who are in a position you want to be in and asking them questions and trying to align yourself with people on the same values is really a good way to put yourself in that position in the future.
Yeah, definitely. And even if you don't know, I mean, I think that's such also sage advice. Even if you don't know where the crossover between your personal and your business values could and should intersect, or if even if they should at all, giving yourself that opportunity to be surrounded by people, to give yourself the exposure to ask the questions, to then go, right, okay, that's not my jam. That's not what I'm interested in. That's not where I'm going. But I know now, so it's growth. Either way, it's growth, for your ability to be able to invest that time and effort and endeavor and energy in it too. So that's fantastic. So before I let you go today, Curtis, where can people reach you?
So if you are listening to the best you right now and you're already a successful leader, whether that's entrepreneurship, owning retail locations, whatever the business is, um, but you know that you need to build your personal brand and you're in a position where you're already making money, you're already successful, you're already solving problems for people, but by having that larger brand that you could reach more people and change more lives and also make more money. That's where you get a hold of me. I can interview you on Amazon Fire TV, where it's a full life, ongoing placement as long as Amazon Fire TV is still in business. And
Yeah.
put you on the cover of Newswire magazine and put you on the 96-foot billboard in Times Square, New York. So really get your business out there, get your brand out there where people recognize you as the authority.
Yeah.
But to do that, send me a message. You can get on any social media platform. And no, I've also got MCurtisMcCoy.com, these kind of things. But a good test of, do I actually do what I say that I can do? Google me. Google M Curtis McCoy. If I don't show up, I'm a scammer. That's probably not the guy you want to work with. But
Yeah.
reach out on any social platform: Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Pinterest, whatever. Search M Curtis McCoy. Send me a message. That's what I do all day, every day is connecting with leaders who are already crushing it and just need to expand the reach.
I love it. Excellent. And I'll get all those details and put them in the show notes for today's recording. Curtis, I cannot thank you enough. This has been such an education, such a pleasure to chat to you again. And I hope this is not the last time that we do this, my friend.
Appreciate you, Gary. That was awesome.
Hello again. Thanks again for tuning in to this episode, and I do hope that you found it valuable and gained some insights. I do have an ask for you. If you enjoyed this podcast, I would absolutely love it if you would connect with me on my socials, and that's at LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. Just search for my name and do whatever it is you need to do there to follow me and stay updated with all the latest content, tips, and discussions. And for any more resources that you're looking for, feel free to visit my website, garygillen.com. And while you're there, you can book a free, no obligation 30-minute coaching call directly with me through the site. Whether you're looking to enhance your performance or tackle a new challenge, I'm absolutely here to help you succeed, and I would absolutely love to hear from you. Thanks very much again, and until next time, keep pushing towards your goals and getting better each and every day, my friend.